Tonight, tourism operators pivot with the pandemic times by changing their operations, and nurses celebrated on a global level.
From our 7 Spencer Golf Studios, your nightly news with Louise Huber begins now.
Good evening. South Australians are being implored to explore their own backyard and support hard-hit tourism operators as the state starts to emerge from its COVID-19 slumber. Port Lincoln's famed shark cage dives reinventing themselves in a bid to stay afloat in uncertain waters.
Thinking outside the cage at one of Eyre Peninsula's biggest tourist drawcards.
If we can't get customers to Port Lincoln because the regular flight at a reasonable price is not an option, we're actually toying with the idea of taking the boat to Adelaide and running the tours from there.
The 2-night trip would see customers hop aboard in Adelaide before making their way to the Neptune Islands, visitors getting to experience the apex predators and sea lions up close and personal before being shuttled back to the city.
I think that Eyre Peninsula as a destination offers a lot at the moment, both in terms of the wildlife opportunities. As I said, you've got the cuttlefish, whales, white sharks.
It's hoped the new business model could help breathe new life into Eyre Peninsula's hard-hit tourism sector after border restrictions and lockdowns decimated visitor numbers. The local community on board with the idea, itching to welcome back visitors.
Come over here and you've got off-beaten tracks, you've got this amazing diversity of wildlife, and the wildlife is actually out at the moment.
Tourism operators say regional travel doesn't have to hurt the hip pocket, with plenty of discounts on accommodation available.
Rooms are starting from about $119 and we've got suites on different nights from $199 on the top floor with beautiful views over Boston Bay.
Caravanning and camping is also back on the menu, perfect timing to check Eyre Peninsula's rugged coastline, with the whale breeding season just about to begin.
We've already started to see some whales and they do come over through this region, so we've got a couple of spots where you do actually see them.
Desperate times call for desperate measures, with Calypso Star Charters offering local discounts of up to $250 off its day trips. Many businesses trying to stay afloat in these uncertain waters.
It's been quite devastating. Business has been stripped back to the bare bones.
We want to support those locals and all of the locals around with our wine and seafood and our gourmet delights.
Nathan Regter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Broken Hill Police are urging vigilance with 2 children reported to have been approached by strangers yesterday. Officers say the children were unharmed and are investigating whether the incidents are connected.
A young girl on her way to school in the morning and a teenage boy riding his bike in the afternoon. Broken Hill Police reporting 2 incidents of children being approached in the last 24 hours.
We have unfortunately had child approach incidents before in Broken Hill. They're not very frequent, but they do occur.
The first event is said to have happened just after 8 o'clock on Piper Street in the city south. An 11-year-old girl walking to school was allegedly followed by a man in a silver ute with black roof racks offering her a lift.
The male had spoken to the girl. She'd gone straight to report it. When she attended school, police were called and police investigations are ongoing.
The second incident occurred at around 5:30 in the afternoon. Police saying a 13-year-old boy was riding with friends near a park on Gypsum Street when a vehicle approached the group. A man is said to have spoken to the children before they rode away. The 13-year-old told his parents and contacting police.
We're not ruling out the 2 incidents being related. They're still under investigation. They said there are some similarities. Description for both incidents, a vehicle, quite possibly similar vehicle.
The New South Wales Education Department said in a statement all public schools are told to remind students of the Safe People, Safe Places program, urging parents to speak with their children about it. Anyone with information about the incident should contact Crime Stoppers. Patrick REINCKE, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Police have raided 6 homes in South Australia's far north as part of a drug search operation involving crime scene examiners, patrols and the Adelaide Dog Squad. Police say around 20 officers were part of the operation, which searched properties at Port Augusta, Roxby Downs and Andamuka. 3 people were arrested and 2 others reported against the Controlled Substances Act. 2 of the arrested were bailed to appear in court at a later date. Still to come tonight, muscles flex for Headspace with its new challenge going viral. And devastation with a major festival, the latest coronavirus victim. Welcome back. Several regional hospitals have been provided with a rapid COVID-19 test service, a crucial step in the ongoing fight against the disease, according to experts. The announcement coincides with International Nurses Day, praising the efforts of our unsung heroes.
A quick and easy test set to save lives and limit the spread of COVID-19.
What this new instrument does is essentially do the analysis in under 60 minutes. So that'll be very helpful for doctors trying to manage patients presenting with acute respiratory symptoms.
SA Health rolling out rapid coronavirus test kits across 10 regional hospitals, including Port Lincoln, Port Augusta, Whyalla and Port Pirie.
It's not a replacement for the routine swabs, so for patients who have got minor symptoms, your local doctors will still be taking the usual swab and then sending that off to the laboratory in Adelaide.
American company Biolytics produces around 200,000 rapid test kits a month for the entire world. South Australia managing to secure 1,600 of those cartridges a month. 2 or 3 tests have already been performed in the last couple of days, so I'm sure that'll have been helpful for the doctors managing those patients. Today also coincides with International Nurses Day. This year's theme, Nurse the World to Health. A poignant message as health professionals continue to fight on the front line against the pandemic.
This time in our national life, we are all remembering the nurses who get us all through. So thank you.
The Prime Minister using today to help encourage residents to install the government's COVID Safe app.
Download the COVID Safe app as a way of saying thank you to all of our nurses.
South Australian nurses and midwives held a virtual tea to help commemorate the day.
So we had more than 100 nurses link in via video link to celebrate this momentous occasion with us. It was fantastic to be able to have nurses from Lee Creek to Roxby Downs, Whyalla.
Nathan REGTER, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Posting videos of push-ups is a new way to help raise awareness for mental health in 2020. Headspace, Whyalla and Port Augusta are encouraging locals to join their fundraising challenges of doing 3,046 push-ups over 21 days.
A viral online challenge now for a good cause. Headspace is encouraging locals to get their muscle game on and video themselves doing push-ups.
The push-up challenge runs for 21 days, so we participate in 3,046 push-ups over the course of the 21 days.
That number is tragically the amount of suicides recorded for 2018. Headspace getting creative, trying to raise awareness of the issue.
The push-up challenge was designed to raise awareness for mental health and also physical health, so promoting the both.
Whyalla's Headspace already exceeding its funding goals, raising $1,100 on the first day. This national challenge that started yesterday already reaching a total of more than $1.5 million.
And I guess the difference for this year is that we can donate to local centres, so if you do want to donate, you can head to our website or our Facebook page. There is a donate button.
Netball coach MEAGAN heard about this cause all the way from Kimba, challenged by a fellow netball member.
It was a great opportunity to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, work on our fitness for netball and also help out in fundraising for Headspace.
Also the Wellbeing Coordinator for Kimba Area School, she rallied her Year 3 and 4 students and teachers to also participate.
I chose to do the push-up challenge as a way of keeping myself active during COVID-19 and as well as fundraising for Headspace in Whyalla, which is a great cause for people out here in the country.
And she isn't the only one. This viral trend a hit with multiple sporting celebrities and even an Australian comedian.
G'day legends, Tommy Little here. Make sure you get involved in the push-up challenge. Let's all look after each other.
Those who have registered can download the online app, which helps log all your push-ups and track how much money you have raised. A great way to give back and also join in the fun.
Let's help Australia push for better. Let's get fit, have a bit of fun and learn about mental health along the way.
SOPHIA Kontogonis, 7 Spencer Golf News.
One of Broken Hill's biggest festival weekends has fallen victim to the coronavirus crisis. Organisers of the Broken Hill Festival pulling the pin on the 2020 event, much to the disappointment of the city.
They held out for as long as they could, but today its organisers made the tough decision.
Hoping to see, you know, if something cropped up, to see if we were able to go ahead with the event. Unfortunately, with, I mean, the laws as they still stand, the event possibly couldn't go on.
The show won't go on for this year's Broken Hill Festival, the event postponed until 2021. In a Facebook post this morning, the festival directors said it was hard to see the weekend's large crowds being accepted by September. Thousands lined the streets for the Saturday parade in the town square alone. With gatherings of more than 10 people currently off the cards, the writing was on the wall.
I know we're quite a few months away for that number to grow, but to think that we're going to be able to grow to a group gathering of 2,500 people, I think is you know, sort of, you know, highly unlikely, and unfortunately we've had to make that call.
Last year's instalment saw the city entirely booked out, hotels at capacity, locals encouraged to rent out rooms. For local cafes, it's one of their busiest times on the calendar.
All our staff, as many staff we can get in, just running the whole day. It's just customer after customer. Big disappointment. It's the biggest weekend of the year for a lot of the restaurants and shops in Broken Hill.
The city's mayor saying she's counting down the days till the festival's glitzy and glamorous return.
The reality is that it is unprecedented times, and that for all of us we're planning around a quiet 2020, and 2021 will be the year of celebrations.
2020 festival goers will have their tickets transferred to next year. The dates will be the 9th to the 13th of September.
Anyone who thinks perhaps that they're not going to be able to make it to the 2021 event, they are able to on-sell their ticket.
Patrick REINCKE, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Stay with us after the break. Relief with new infrastructure in Whyalla, and a Port Augusta cafe prepares to welcome more customers. Welcome back. Whyalla's roundabout upgrades are finally complete, with council encouraging road users to look out for new turning signs. The upgrade is part of a state government initiative to help improve road safety in rural cities.
It's tools down for these workers as the roundabout roadworks come to completion. Council finishing upgrades on 3 new intersections, making driving across these major roundabouts a little easier.
This one here, Nicholson and McDowell Stewart Avenue, but also Jenkins and McDowell Stewart Avenue roundabout, as well as the intersection at Hinks Avenue and Nicholson Avenue.
The work's part of a $750,000 project, partly funded by the state government.
This project was funded by the Motor Accident Commission Road Safety Fund, with the local government association as well.
A team of inspectors came to Whyalla to identify the intersections and roads most at risk of vehicle crashes.
They were looked at by an engineering consultant, and these designs came back to make them up to standard.
The upgrade's receiving positive reviews, with some concerned the changes won't be enough to stop drivers from ignoring the road rules.
It looks really good now. It's well marked out for people to know what way to turn and not get mixed up.
I think it was a great idea. You know, it's improved the traffic. Yeah, so good on council.
Something probably had to be done, but I don't observe it's made a great deal of difference because drivers just don't follow the road rules.
Most of the traffic conditions have stayed the same, except for the Nicholson and McDowell Stewart Avenue roundabout.
Now has the left lane must turn left only. So if people want to go straight or turn right on this intersection, they'd have to use that centre lane.
Other changes include the direction of entry into the roundabouts and changes to road lines. T&J Construction's working hard over the past few months to finish the roads, with council thankful to road users for their consideration throughout the process.
Council really appreciate the patience shown by the community and road users during the construction.
Sophia Kontogonis, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
The Far West Local Health District says its drive-through COVID-19 testing clinic, which opened last week, has so far tested 56 people for the virus and screened dozens more. The facility is set up in the Musicians Club car park, giving locals an easier option to quickly get a checkup. Almost 900 tests have been conducted in the Far West, with just 2 cases confirmed in March. Anyone who's displaying symptoms are urged to visit their local clinic. Concerns are being raised over the temporary appointment of a Port Augusta Council Infrastructure Director who will be in charge of major projects for the area. Paul Debb, who left Burnside Council last year, is in the process of an unfair dismissal case. Port Augusta Council's Chief Executive says Mr Debb was recruited on the basis of his local government experience and his experience with overseeing large projects. But the Port Augusta Ratepayers Association says it's unacceptable that councillors don't have an input into who is recruited. As outdoor dining restrictions ease, a Port Augusta cafe is looking forward to welcoming customers back properly. The owner of Archer's Table says business has been steady and they've been adapting to each change as it comes, but they're looking forward to going back to normal.
The chairs are out and so are the customers. Despite ongoing government restrictions, Brad Archer has been able to keep his doors open since the pandemic hit, with some changes. Now he's hoping the ease in restrictions will help them get back to normal.
We're looking to return back to our normal hours, in different hours at the moment. We're currently not opening on Sundays and just closing up a little bit early in the afternoons. But yeah, once the trade comes back, I'm sure we can go back to our normal hours again.
Looking forward to seeing the return of outside dining.
Starting to see some more people out and about, and yes, more people, making the most of being able to sit down and enjoy their coffee and meal on site. So.
The cafe adapting to each change and taking on technology to keep business afloat.
Adjusting to online ordering as well. We've introduced an app that we use for our online ordering, which has really sort of helped things along as well. So yeah, just some adjustments like that.
Brad and his staff eagerly waiting for the next announcement.
In June they're talking for the next lot of restrictions that may be lifted. So yeah, until then we'll keep doing what we're doing and hopefully we'll see an increase in trade up until then.
Laura Milovanovic, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Stay with us after the break. We'll have the weather with Britt. Hello again. Now for a look at the weather. Here's Britt.
Thanks, Louise, and good evening. 21 degrees was the region's high today for International Nurses Day, recorded at both Whyalla and Woodner. Port Augusta, Kadina and Cleve all reached 20. Port Lincoln, Broken Hill, Port Pirie, Coffin Bay and Adelaide all 19 today. Clare saw a high of just 15 degrees. A band of cloud clipped the South Australian coast, bringing with it a cold front and a couple of showers today. High cloud ahead of that front, not causing any rain. To our north and west, clearer skies under a high pressure system. Moving on to tomorrow's forecast now, northwesterly winds on the Gulf waters reaching 15 to 20 knots before shifting southwesterly in the afternoon and evening, seas around 1 metre. 9 degrees overnight at Port Lincoln ahead of a partly cloudy day tomorrow, looking at a top of 16 degrees. Cleve 15, Woodner fine and 17. A possible early shower at Whyalla, otherwise partly cloudy with a high of 17. Port Augusta fine and 18, a top of 17 expected at Kadina. Port Pirie with a possible early shower ahead of a mostly fine day, 18 the top there. Clare a possible shower with a high of 13. Broken Hill mostly sunny and 17 with an overnight low of 7 degrees. Later in the week now with partly cloudy conditions expected on Thursday, a little more cloud over Port Lincoln. 17 the expected top at Port Augusta, Woodner, Port Lincoln, Port Pirie and Kadina. Whyalla 16, Broken Hill 15. Friday, bright and sunny about the west coast and Flinders districts as well as Broken Hill. Fine and partly cloudy elsewhere. Woodner with a top of 19 degrees, Port Augusta, Whyalla and Port Lincoln all 18, Port Pirie and Kadina 17, Broken Hill 14 degrees. And it's looking like we'll see a sunny start to the weekend. Woodner 22 on Saturday, Port Augusta, Whyalla and Port Lincoln 21, Port Pirie and Kadina both 19 degrees, Broken Hill 17. And Louise, it's looking like we'll have perfect conditions this weekend to get out and about and support our local tourism industry. Back to you.
All right, thank you for that, Britt. And that's your local news this evening. Thank you, as always, for joining us. We'll have updates later. Until then, have a lovely and safe evening. Good night.